Hey guys, okay, so today I wanted to talk to you guys about inspiration and it's sometimes hard to just paint blindly every day and you need some inspiration. So I'm gonna show you some of my inspiration, and what I basically do a lot of times is I look at my heroes, the artists that inspire me to paint. So hopefully today I can introduce you to some squeaky couch, to some artists that you've never heard before. And these are some of my favorites. First, we have Antonio Mancini, and I didn't know about him until, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago or maybe more. I don't know, but there was this, whenever this show was, there was a show in Philadelphia that I got to see, and he was alive during Sargent's time, and just a genius painter, just a genius painter. He painted a lot of children first, and then he moved more towards portraits, and actually, oh yeah, he did a ton of self-portraits, just a ton of them. He actually went crazy. He got syphilis, and they give you mercury to combat that, and didn't do well for him. It's all documented in this book, and I really recommend this book. He's just a great painter. Here's a painting of his dad, who was a doll maker, and that's one of his dolls. Or it's called The Maker of Figures, but just great, just a great painter. Here's another great one. So many great paintings in here. There's another great one. One thing about him, oh man, look at this one, jeez. All those furs and textures. He developed this way of painting where he would make this unique grid in front of the sitter and the same grid in front of his painting. And it was, you can see in this picture here, him using it. And the grid was different always. And sometimes the grid merged into the paintings, and he pulled the grid out of the painting. And you can kind of see it in this one. You can see the lines of the grid. Here's just side note. Here's a picture of him with Sargent. You can see he was kind of short. Sargent is tall, so he looks even shorter. But here's another image of him painting from life with the grid in front of the sitter and in front of his painting. And he's got some leaves in his hair and or something. And but yeah, he would it's a really unique way to paint that grid like that. There's another one. But one of my very favorite paintings, and here's the ISBN number. But this is a great book. Don't pay too much for it. Another great, this is a sculptor, and probably one of the best animal sculptors ever, I think, is Rembrandt Bugatti. Great name. He was son of the car maker Bugatti, and actually he did the sculpture of an elephant on the emblem of one of the first Bugattis. But he killed himself in right after World War I started, because they were eating the animals, and he loved animals. But it's almost like if Rodin only did animals. And the thing that's different about him is he really showed kind of the tenderness of the animals and the animals interacting with each other. It's a Frenchie, but so good, so sensitive. And I would say, he's really good at doing cats, but he's good at everything. I mean, look at these birds. They look so modern. And this is, early 1900s. This is like, 1912. Look at this. Look at this guy. I mean, come on. Most of these aren't that big. And here's a pretty cool, you know, the zoos back in the day, they really look like what they are, prisons, and they really had a lot of bars and everything. But he would paint everything live from the zoo, and he really bonded with a lot of animals. So when the war started and they were, you know, eating the animals of the zoo, he couldn't take it, and he was committed suicide. But just so sensitive and tender to the interactions with the animals. I mean, look at this guy. Come on, so good. Some of these you can see in person. There's actually where I live in Oxnard, there's an automotive museum here, and they actually have a bunch of his sculptures. But see, that's a whippet with a cat, a baby tiger, you know, he was just. Here's a great photo of him working from life. So I think what I'm going to do is make a couple of these videos, because I could go on and on about these videos, but here is the ISBN number for this one. I think that's the ISBN number. There's a bunch of books on Bugatti, and I highly recommend him. With Mancini, I think this is really, there's very few. This is only the one that I've seen that's really good anyway, because it's somewhat new. Another great 19th century painter, Boldini, Giovani Baldini. And one of the reasons why I like some of these books is because the details in some of the shots, they get really good close-ups. Like, I mean, look at that. You know, this, Boldini's primarily known as a portrait painter, but he could paint landscapes and, I mean, just about everything. Here's a great close-up of a painting he did of Whistler. And I mean, look at that. That's great. Such a great reproduction. So this book isn't that new, but it's newer. And the newer books are better. You know, just the reproductions are so good. Look at that. Ugh. But this is what inspires me. Again, look at this close-up. This is probably blown up. I don't think this is even actual size. This is probably bigger than actual size. But you can see everything when they do that. Here's another. This is a detail. Actually, it's not even the whole landscape, but a detail of one of his landscapes. Oh yeah, and they have sketches in here. You know, a lot of the little rhythmical sketches that he did prior to some of the paintings. But just one of the best artists ever. Oh, okay, here's another example. Here's that landscape that I just showed you, the whole picture. Another landscape there. Just a great portrait artist, you know, just one of the best ever. Similar to Sargent in terms of, you know, portrait painter and everything. Here's the full Whistler, and here's another one. And he really elongated the figure in his portraits. That's kind of what he's known for. But again, what I like about this book is they have some really good close-ups. And notice on this figure, just like with Sargent, no clavicle, no clavicle. You know, slight indication of the plane change from the, you know, top of the torso to the front, but didn't draw clavicles back in the day. And then the King, Sargent, of course I picked the thickest one ever, but there's a whole series of these by Richard Omund. And one of the reasons why I like these is because, first of all, there's tons of art in here of Sargents that I've never seen before. And again, nice big close-ups. But they have detailed, like, these little sketches, you know. Sargent was, I mean, he could do no wrong, honestly. But his watercolors, so good. So good. But here's more of the Cashmere series. He had this one, Cashmere blanket. He did several amazing paintings with it. But, you know, just such a good landscape painter. You know, such a good landscape painter. But again, what I was going to say is, with these books, there's so much information. Okay, back on target. Sorry, small technical difficulty right there. But what I was saying was, with these books, these new Sargent books, you know, not only do they have great reproductions, this is Sargent's mom, who is a great watercolor artist also, and that's actually Sargent's first medium, but they have tons of inside information about the paintings that the catalog includes. So it's great to hear, and also photographs of the area that he painted. So, you know, these paintings you've probably never even seen before. I hadn't seen before, but this is a good example. You know, here's the photograph to the area, here's the sketch, and then here's the finished larger painting that he did from that area. So, you know, one of these, there was letters in here on one of these paintings, and that's what it has correspondence between, sometimes, him and the collector. Look at that landscape, come on. So nice. But, you know, and this one collector who had bought one of his paintings asked him if he could finish the painting for him. And Sargent had a great, super elegant response. Look at that guy, come on. Such a good painter. But he basically said, anything I do to change the painting is going to change the way you feel about the painting. So you're not going to like it if I do anything else to it, because, you know, it's different. It's a different painting. It's like you can't step into the same river twice. But, you know, everyone knows this one. But, again, that cashmere wrap that he has. But yeah, I love this series. Just so many great works that, you know, you may have never seen before. Tons of little studies, like, oh my God. And just like I said, look at these pomegranate trees, you know, pomegranate trees, and drawings of the pomegranate trees, you know, just beautiful. Beautiful work by Sargent. And, you know, like, here's some close-ups of the pomegranate trees and things like that. But like I said, there's a bunch of these, and they're thick, you know, well worth the investment for sure. And I think this is a two-part one. It actually separated by dates. So well worth the money, well worth the investment. And like I said, you know, these, and another great close-up, these are my inspiration. So whenever I'm feeling uninspired, I just open up one of these books and look at it, and almost automatically I want to do something, you know, do something creative like these masters did. But anyway, I hope you like that, and stay tuned for more.